What up, Depth Chart? It's your boy, Young Broadcaster, here on the set of the 2 Point Perspective with my co-host, Miles Sweeney. Miles on the mic. How you doing today, brother?
I'm holding it together. Sunday was a up and down day. Had some L's, took some wins. So I'm just here. I'm in a neutral state.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, tell me, well, maybe don't tell us a little bit about those wins. We'll get into those a little bit later, your wins and losses.
Yeah, I'll be taunting for sure.
Yeah,
they'll throw a flag on me.
Right, yeah. I certainly didn't have a hand in any of those L's by any chance.
Nah.
Right? We don't got to talk about that. Well, you know what, man? Let's just jump right into the roster shakeup. Number one, first off, let's just jump right into Jackson Dart. Dude's going to take over as the quarterback for the Giants, man. Your boy Ethan was right.
He was.
We're going to have to eat our words on that one. I even told him to drop Scat, and now Ceedees going to be the number one running back. I really thought that Tyrone Tracy was going to hang in there, but he's
Scat is undeniable.
Dude, the dude put up 40
good.
Fantasy points this last week, so that's pretty impressive. I'm really surprised that they're going to bench Russ. I think that this is not a good move for Jackson Dart's career, to be completely honest. I know that the Giants are not – I know they're not winning right now.
Right.
But they've also had like a decently tough schedule. I thought that they played the Cowboys really well. It came down to a fifth quarter type of deal, an overtime deal. So, I don't think that that's good for Jackson Dart's development, but I'm sure that they're getting pressure from the front office. They're getting pressure from the fans.
Absolutely.
So it's the way that it's going to be. I have a feeling he's going to get shell-shocked. I don't think that their offensive line is good enough to protect him.
Right.
So I just hope he can escape the pocket. My hope for the Giants now is that Jackson Dart stays healthy, because that's really the highest expectation that I have, is that he stays healthy at this point.
Well, you're already worried about a rookie being shell-shocked, but then if he gets hurt and he's going to miss significant time, that just throws an even bigger wrench into his development.
Now, if he does stay healthy, it could be a really good thing. It could be a really good thing. If he avoids a lot of hits through the rest of the season, now keep in mind, we got 15 weeks left, right? This is only week 3. If he is able to avoid a lot of big hits through the rest of the season, he's going to be able to develop some really good chemistry with Scat. He's going to be able to develop some really good chemistry with his young wide receivers in Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. So there are some positives there. I hope that that's the case. Do I think that it's going to turn the Giants' luck around? No, I do not. And I don't see them winning this week. So
no, and at the very least, like you said, he's got good playmakers to help him out. So, I'm kind of on the fence with this, because I selfishly want to see it. You know, I want to see Jackson Dart play.
Yeah.
You mentioned the fans.
I mean, I'm curious for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
And you mentioned the fans. They were like, every time Dart came on the field, the crowd erupted. Every time he got taken off, there were boos. There were chants that we want Dart. So for sure, pressure from the fan base that they want to see the rookie play. And when Russ is being inconsistent, and we talked about this with Ethan last week, how long was he going to hold on to that job?
Right.
So, you know, I am curious though, why, because Ethan originally thought it would be Jameis taking over. So obviously,
and that would have been my thought too. I think that would have been the smarter choice.
I agree.
I just don't think that rushing a rookie out onto the field when you don't have an offensive line to protect him is a good idea.
I agree. Yeah, but there's got to be some disparity between their play and practice that we don't see.
Right.
That if they're willing to pull the trigger on a guy like Dart to play over Jameis.
Right. We're not inside the organization, so it makes it tough on our end to make those kinds of calls. But you know what? Let's move on. We got lots of injuries around the league. We're going to talk about Tyrone Tracy. We talked about Scat and Tyrone Tracy's injury, but we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. But to start us off, I want to hop right into Nick Bosa, my boy Nick Bosa. He is out for the season, ACL tear. The Niners have a couple options to fill in those spaces. They still have Micah Williams. They got Huff sitting back there. I know that there's some talks about trying to make a trade with
The Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah, for Trey Hendrickson. I think that come the trade deadline, the Bengals are going to be sellers, so that could be big for us. Moving on, we'll talk about Colston Loveland. He's out right now with a hip. It's going to be Komet filling in on that end. Loveland wasn't getting a lot of touches as it was. He wasn't being targeted a whole lot as a rookie. Past that, back to Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah.
Scattaboo took over earlier this weekend, and he had a really big day. 60 yards on 10 attempts. 1 rushing touchdown, 6 of 8 receptions for 61 yards. He broke out a couple of big ones, so that was kind of cool to see. I'm excited to see where he goes moving forward. I hope the Giants can stay healthy from their 2 offensive playmakers behind the line.
Right.
And finally, I want to talk about the Packers offensive line. The Packers blew not a big lead, but they blew a lead with short time left in the fourth quarter to the Browns. They were up 10-0, and then the Browns came back and won that game 13-10 with 2 minutes left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's an impressive win there, but the Packers are a little beat up on their O-line right now. Right tackle Zach Tom has an oblique injury, and then left guard Aaron Banks has a groin, so they're going to be missing some key pieces on their offensive line. It's going to be really important this season if they want to make a big run to keep Jordan Love healthy. It's also really integral to their run game as well. I'm curious to see if Josh Jacobs' numbers kind of take a hit as far as his yards per carry.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. Talk about a trap game,
right?
Because that game just shows how small the margin for error is in the NFL.
Totally.
Because the Packers were one of the highest regarded teams, especially after trading for Micah. They play really well in the first couple of weeks. Their defense looks stout. Offense is flourishing. And you go to Cleveland, who is not highly regarded, and they drop a game like that.
And that's how, and those kind of things happen,
all the
time.
Season's
going to go up and down. I don't think that it derails the Packers season by any means. I still think that the Lions looked pretty good this last week, but I still think that the Packers win that division. I think it's a close game. I think the Packers have a better defense, and that's what's going to win them
100%
that division. So
yeah, they're too well coached to let that derail their season.
Yeah, Miles, you got some personal attachment to your roster shakeup. We got 4 here, right?
Yeah,
let's hear 'em.
So we're gonna start off with CeeDee Lamb injuring his ankle. It did not look pretty. Luckily, not season-ending for him. I think it was 4 to 6 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, it did not look pretty.
No, it did not. And you saw a lot of uproar about that injury because they lined him up in the backfield on that play. So it's just kind of like, very avoidable in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that's hindsight 2020. This is football. People get hurt regardless of what it is they're doing. So that hurt me. I felt my ankle pop a little bit when I saw that because I had CD starting for my fantasy.
That's your number 1 pick, right?
Yeah, my number 1 pick, and he put up 0 points. So luckily, it didn't matter. Hopping over to another wide receiver, Mike Evans, one of the best established receivers right now, dealing with a hamstring, and I believe is the 7th straight season. He's had hamstring issues for a while. But even that doesn't matter because he's still consistently putting up 1,000-yard receiving seasons. So he is very reliable. I'm not sure the time frame of what he's going to miss, but the Bucs are looking good. Emeka Egbuka's looking really good.
They're still looking a little thin at wide receiver. We haven't seen Chris Godwin yet, and I hope that Mike Evans can come back because otherwise they're just gonna double team Egbuka. So and that's I've got him on my fantasy team. That's not something that I want to see happen. So
Najee Harris tore his Achilles, out for the season. So they still. Amari and Hampton, you could expect some more heavy load carries. That's just unfortunate. And he was already dealing with like that firework incident before the season with his eye.
Right.
So, but Achilles are such a bad injury to overcome no matter what sport. it can like completely just
Do you
derail.
Do you think Hampton's gonna start breaking them off and start popping off some big runs? Because we haven't seen a lot of that from Amarion just yet.
We haven't, and I mean, even like their offense this year, they've been throwing the ball really well.
Right.
Jim Harbaugh is like notorious for being a running coach, but they've really opened up the offense. They're letting Herbert look like an MVP candidate.
Yeah,
Quentin
he's
Johnston's
spreading the
still
ball
good.
around
He
really well right now.
Quentin Johnston's kind of, finally arising.
Mm-hmm.
They still got Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen. They already have that rapport. So they have the weapons to be able to throw the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if Amarian Hampton's going to kind of break out a little bit, because the more workload you see, especially as a rookie, you're only going to get better.
Right.
So, and they still have that identity of being able to run the ball. Their offense hasn't been that efficient in it. We talked about it last week, but that's still something that could be corrected, especially under a guy like Jim Harbaugh. That aspect of the game is too important to him to let that kind of take a back seat.
And at the end of the day, if you wanna make a serious playoff run, if you want to get to the Super Bowl, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to run the ball.
You got to run the ball.
There's no getting away from it.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. And then speaking of running the ball, albeit not too well, and that's not his fault, but unfortunately, James Conner is out for the season with an ankle injury. James Conner is I love him as a running back. I think his game has aged really well with just being that kind of power back, cowbell guy. And the Cardinals' running scheme has been one of the better ones in the last handful of years, and that was a big thanks to Conner. But this year, offensive line wasn't doing too good, so Conner can't hit the hold like he could.
And the reality of it is, we knew that injury was looming.
He was always, he's been hurt every year.
Yeah.
He's been hurt every year. Nothing to this degree, but
do you think he's done?
I initially thought his career was over based on the replay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was an ankle. I thought it was going to be a knee.
Yeah.
So I think he'll come back. He also just signed an extension.
Do you think he's coming back with the Cardinals?
That really depends on how Trey Benson plays. And we'll talk about Trey Benson. He's been a fantasy darling ever since that injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really just depends, because they did draft him to be his replacement. He wasn't even under extension before they drafted him. They were expecting.
We've been talking about it for weeks. I was telling you guys early on in the season that I thought that Trey Benson was going to end up being the guy at one point or another, throughout the season. So I foresee the Cardinals, in my opinion, I foresee the Cardinals moving on from James Conner.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's just so unfortunate. He's been one of the best free agent signings this franchise has ever had. So, and he's such a good guy too. It's just really unfortunate to see that. Something else unfortunate to see is some of these losses this week. Biggest winners and losers.
All right, biggest winners and losers. Miles, take us away.
We got some honorable mentions on here. We talked about it already. Packers 13-10 loss to the Browns. They kind of gave that game away. And like we already talked about, it was just kind of shocking to see that, since they were touting one of the best rosters and just like one of the biggest darlings in the league. So to drop that, obviously trap games happen. So it was just still shocking. It was shocking at the end of the day for Joe Flacco to rip their soul out of their body. So,
who was your initial solid loser for the week, Miles?
Like my solidified loser?
Yeah, who's your loser?
The Falcons.
Why?
Because they got obliterated by Carolina.
That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, it's a divisional matchup. You got to put up some kind of a fight.
Yeah.
What are we doing out here?
Yeah, especially like because the Falcons were also looking pretty good. Like their defense played really well against Minnesota. They were being touted again like as another potential dark horse. Like people just love the Falcons. And you kind of go out and you put up a game like that. Penix did not look good. He had that, just an atrocious pick six.
Right.
And
yes.
they eventually had to put Kirk Cousins in the game. Not to like take over the starting job. It was just the game was already lost.
Well, and the Panthers played a great game. I mean, but they've been playing well offensively. You know, they're running the ball well. Chuba Hubbard is having a really decent season right now. They got a new weapon in McMillan, so that's going really well for them on offense. You know, they're starting to build up some weapons. So
yeah, I mean, because they came off of that loss the week before against the Cardinals, where they had that chance and they let it slip through their fingers. So to come out and kind of put it on your division rival, it's a good sign for the Panthers. But if I were a Falcons fan, I'd be sick.
Well, and they played the Cardinals well.
I think.
The Panthers played the Cardinals well.
Well, yeah, I think they were kind of given those. They were playing prevent defense in the third quarter. Yeah. The Cardinals were. They were up 27-3. It was gross negligence to let them back in the game, but Bryce Young was taking what the defense was giving him.
Right.
So he was making the smart plays. So I always thought that Bryce Young would step up this year and be better. The first, that first week was pretty bad. He looked a lot better week 2. And then for him to come out and put up 30 on the Falcons, he's trending in the right direction right now.
Right.
So, but yeah, my boy Seth was not happy, and I do not blame him, former Falcons fan. So,
yeah.
But biggest winners, Jared. We got some interesting guys on here.
Before we get to the winners, we had a couple more honorable mentions.
Oh, we did.
For the biggest loser.
Yes.
The Bengals.
That was another bad one.
Big L, 48-10 to the Vikings. They're really missing Joe Burrow over there. A lot of people are, especially with the move that the Giants just made. I am very curious to see if Jameis Winston is going to get traded over to the Bengals. I know a lot of people are talking about that right now. I think that would be great. I think that'd be a huge move for the Bengals, and they could probably get him cheap. So.
And that would be fun. I think that'd be fun to watch. Jameis is always fun to watch, but if you got Jamar and T. Higgins alongside him, that would be fun.
Another honorable mention for the losers. We're gonna say the Cowboys. We love seeing the Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, we love seeing the Cowboys in the loser category. They lost to the Bears 41-3.
No, 31-14.
31-14.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah. Still not pretty.
I'm so sorry. I swapped my 3s and my 4s on my sheet here.
Yeah.
Sorry, 31-14. Thank you for the correction.
I got you. Yeah. It doesn't give him a lot of solace though.
No, so. I'm still pretty happy about it. It's still a terrible score.
Yeah.
So especially to lose to the Bears, and we've said this a couple times. The Bears aren't a slouch, but man, I love seeing Jerry just.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just love seeing his face.
Yeah, during these losses, man. It makes me happy. Funny. I think that was a good kind of get right game for the Bears offense.
Yeah, I think so
because they haven't shown the potential of what a Ben Johnson head coach, what we all expected it to be with all those playmakers. And Dallas's defense has been gutted the first 3 weeks.
You think it's time to pull the fire alarm for the Cowboys?
In terms of what? Because I don't think that they were like.
You think Jerry will go into rebuild mode?
I don't know, because you just paid Dak that lucrative contract, and I can't imagine somebody wanting to take that on.
Yeah,
and Jerry's pretty stubborn with his ways, as we all know. So.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever let his team go into rebuild mode. I feel like they'll just consistently be mid.
They are like an infinite retool team.
Yeah.
They'll never commit to tearing it down to the studs.
Right.
So, I don't know. Dak definitely didn't look good. He threw those 2 picks. So...
There's just not a lot of hope over there.
No, and then
Dallas. And
CD gets hurt, Micah gets traded, and that's been looming over their head.
Yeah.
So,
well, I love tearing up the Cowboys, but at this point, I can't even say that I like tearing up Cowboy fans. It's just not even fun anymore. I just feel bad. I just feel bad. But I'm going to move on to the winners, Miles, if you're cool with that.
Yes, let's do it.
So my biggest winner of the week, Mr. Carson Wentz. Like we said, took it to the Bengals 48-10. Had a huge day, looked really, really good. If I were the Vikings, JJ's not going back in.
Okay. Well, I don't blame you for thinking that. I mean, he had the one good quarter where they came back against the Bears.
In 8 quarters?
The 1 out of 8.
Yeah.
So, I think Carson Wentz obviously benefited from their defense, played really well, putting him in position to succeed. But if they got a lot of expectations this year. Their roster's good. Kevin O'Connell is one of the better coaches. So if Carson Wentz is going to give you the best chance to win games, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm going to tell you, I think that he does. He's a veteran. He's got playoff experience. That's a guy that if you don't have somebody solid, he could be your Case Keenum.
Right.
So, and we've seen it happen before, so I definitely think that Carson Wentz, if he can, we'll see how week 2 go, or his second week goes. Week 4, is that what we're in? Are we
going into week 4?
We're going into week 4
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see how week 4 goes for Carson Wentz. And like I said, if he continues to perform, I have seen no reason to put JJ back in.
He's also just a good veteran quarterback to have behind a guy like JJ McCarthy, who's still young, basically in his rookie season.
On top of that, he just got done backing at Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So you think he didn't learn a couple things from Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or being an Andy Reid system.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
All right. One honorable mention for the winners. It's the Detroit Lions for sure. I called it last week with my hot take. I was a little bit worried at times watching that game, but in the end we prevailed and the Lions defeated the Ravens. So I just want to throw that out there. My honorable mention this week is the Lions.
You and Jared Goff represented all Jareds.
What did I say? What did I say, man?
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the last episode.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Hop over to Hot Takes. It's a good
it's always
segment.
A juicy segment.
Well, I think we're finished up here with our biggest winners and losers, Miles. And it's time to talk about the dual threat bet. So, dual threat bet, man, I am not doing well. I'm not doing well. I got 1 W. Miles has 3, so he is up on me by 2 right now. Not very happy about that. The last couple of weeks, Miles has gotten some pretty good ones. You got the over under for the Niners Cardinals. You got to call the game for Packers Washington.
Yep.
So not super happy about it, so I threw a little bit of a fit this week, and I made sure to not put anything in there that was going to be an over/under
something
on the
where
game
you can
itself.
Pick.
Yeah, exactly. Miles is just seeming too lucky. He's got all the luck in his fingers.
Lucky?
Yeah,
I know ball, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
Come
on now.
What about just pulling it out of the? This is all random, man. This is random right here.
But when it's handed to me on a silver platter of what I can choose, I'm making the most of it.
The sports gods are giving you too many good ones, so I had to make them a little bit tougher this week. We'll get into that about what's in the crown. So for mine for this last week, just a little recap. I needed James Conner to get 3.5 yards on his first carry. 3.5 plus yards on his first carry. He got 0. And then busted one off for 5 on his second run.
Yeah.
So pretty much immediately after.
Yeah.
And I texted you and was not very happy.
I've never been more happy to see a stuffed run in my life.
So. I am sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then he goes and is out for the season. So
yeah.
Who is this guy, James Conner?
He's serving me well. He went out. It was a worthy sacrifice for my dual threat bet.
Would you have, Miles, for this last week?
I got to take the game total, which was set at 43.5. I knew that was going to be just a defensive slugfest. Not even like a defensive slugfest. Just the Cardinals' offense is so ass. And then if you got Mac Jones with
your profanity,
limited playmakers, I just kind of knew it was going to come down to like a 2017. It would have finished 16-15 on the grossest ending I've ever seen in my life. But like I said at the start of this podcast, I had to watch some L's. I had to take some L's, but I got some dubs in this segment, so I slept okay that night.
Yeah, you got to. We'll talk about this too. We got an overall fantasy dub. You got a dual threat bet dub. So you're 2-2, right? For this last weekend, for wins and losses, basically.
Well,
your Cardinals lost.
Yeah.
You had a little bit of a trade upset.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was the other one, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. But
yeah. Well, so this week we wanted a close matchup. We're going through all of the matchups, and we saw this one. It stood out to us. Both teams are playing really well at a high level, and I know the Rams are coming off a loss. They're going to be looking to rebound from that. The Colts are on fire right now. Their offense is looking really, really good.
Yeah.
So our pick this week was the Colts versus the Rams, and I think it's time to pull, Miles.
Okay.
All right. Better be a good one, man. I'm sick of you getting all the easy ones. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Did you get the wild card one you put in? Jared put in a special little bet in there that he didn't want to tell me about.
Dang it. I wish that one had gotten pulled.
So
that's a bummer. All right. Well, let me tell you about the special one that I put in there first.
Oh, you didn't draw it. Okay.
No, I didn't draw it.
Okay.
All right. So the special one that I put in there, because I like to throw a wild card into each of them, but I decided I need to make them a little bit harder because the last couple of weeks Miles has pulled the wild card and they've been pretty easy ones, I think. I listen. All I'm saying is I knew the Packers were going to win that game, and we both knew that was going to be a defensive game between the Niners and the Cardinals. So the under was a pretty easy pick.
Yeah.
So the one that I put in here was that first pass complete. Danny Dimes equals heads, and Matthew Stafford equals tails. So we would have flipped a coin, and whichever one it landed on is the quarterback that you would have gotten. And you would have had to see if their first pass was going to be complete or not.
Okay, yeah. So that leaves it up to fate.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Unfortunately, neither of us got that. I thought that would have been a fun one. I even put the little coin in the crown.
Yeah.
But Miles, let's see what you got.
I got Jonathan Taylor, first touchdown of the game.
That is a good one.
And I'm already 1-0 on first touchdowns too with George Kittle.
You are.
So hopefully I keep that streak going.
I got the opposite one. Kyren Williams' last touchdown of the game.
Oh boy.
So when we were looking at the stats on FanDuel, Jonathan Taylor is, I think he's 0 for 3 on getting the first touchdown, and Kyren Williams was 0 for 3 on getting the last touchdown. So we got a couple tough ones this week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we both lose. It'd be better than Miles winning another one, at the very least.
I think that'd be better for me.
I'm crossing my fingers
and
hoping for a dub. So at this point, I'm kind of banking on the Rams, I guess, winning this game.
Or on like their last
getting
score.
Getting that last score. So that's what I'm banking on right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, the bank is closed. You can wrap that up. I'll be going up. I'll have 4 wins after this week. Fingers crossed. So. But speaking of wins, I overcame the impossible in my fantasy game. Let's talk about it. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of how good I am at fantasy football, we want to revisit this trade that Jared was peer pressuring me to do. So last week, if you guys saw the episode, we rehashed that trade, like everything that was involved. It was basically Derrick Henry for CeeDee Lamb and some change on both sides. So
And it was I wouldn't call it like change.
It was
they were decent. It was a high level. It would have been a big trade. Like we would have been moving big players, but the focal points were Derrick Henry and Ceedees.
Yeah. Because they were both our first picks, and then it was basically a 4-for-4 trade. It kind of benefited both of us. It would have, because I didn't do this on air like I said I would. I accepted the trade after we recorded. I was feeling kind of good about it, and then I was getting a bunch of shit from everyone about like, why would you make that trade?
Watch your profanity.
That trade is so one-sided. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I think it's fine. So I was content with it. Thursday Night Football, I still had Dalton Kincaid. We learned that I was going to get the points for that week.
Right. Can I give a little more context to this? So initially, the trade was supposed to process on Saturday. It would have processed Saturday, but because Kincaid played on Thursday, it was not going to process until the following Tuesday. That's very important. That's very important to what happened here.
Yeah. So when Kincaid got me 17 points, because we both thought we weren't, like, I wasn't getting those points. So I was kind of like, oh, figures, of course. And then we learned we did. So I'm like, okay, I'm shaping out pretty well. And then CD gets hurt. His ankle explodes. And then Jared swept the rug right out from under me.
Emotional damage.
He held me at gunpoint for this trade. I bowed to his wishes. I gave him what he wanted, and then he pulls this stunt on me, and I'm not happy about it. So that was like almost equally a tough pill to swallow as the Cardinals' loss.
Are you gonna give me a chance to defend myself a little bit?
Hell nah, dude. We're friends here, bro. You and I are friends, and you pull this stunt on me. Are you kidding?
You got to give me an opportunity to explain here. So what had happened was, and this is before Derrick Henry almost lost me my game this last week. So I wasn't going to reject the CD trade. I wasn't going to until I didn't watch the Cowboys game until right after the Niners-Cardinals game ended. And I know that this sucks because it just adds insult to injury right after. I was on Instagram and I'm scrolling and I saw a picture of it. And I'm like, there's no way. So I didn't cancel the trade. Like I'm not the commissioner or anything. But it takes 8 votes to veto the trade. I didn't know. It doesn't tell you how many votes are up there. But apparently there were 7. There were 7 people that vetoed our trade. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe this will give me a chance. And I was like, half joking, whatever. I hit the veto and it canceled it. And I was like, well, guess I don't have to worry about CD anymore. And I do apologize, Miles, because that does kind of suck. It added insult to... Look, he's scowling.
Jared has apologized to me like 5 times, and each time it's in one ear out the other. That you hurt me greatly,
Miles
my
will not accept my apology.
No.
He's pretty upset that I ended up vetoing the trade, which is so funny because he was getting shit from everybody about it anyway. And
you know what the funny part is that I'm the only undefeated team in the league now.
Okay.
So
can we talk about that?
They were
for a second
because they were scared.
Let's talk about that for a second. Miles is the only undefeated team. He is the number 1 ranked team in our league right now. He also has the lowest points against in the league, and I have more points for than Miles does. Most people in the league do. If we were going off of just points for, Miles would be like, he'd be like 9th in the league. He's winning ugly every single week. Like, people are having their worst weeks against Miles. It's just a coincidence. It's beginners. It's like, well, you said you've played before, but it's basically beginner's luck. Like, I'm not impressed by your team at all.
Oh, come on.
So you could take CD and his 0 points, man.
And I still win, baby. Come on. That does not happen a lot.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
You have to admit that does not happen a lot.
I actually see it very often. It's disgusting.
Well, I feel good about it. And Jared just shitting on me again. So
listen, man. You're 3-0. I'm 2-1. Just take your victories. Just take your victories, Miles.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to week 8. Where I'll beat you and I'll be 8-0, and you'll be wishing you made that trade when Derrick Henry puts up like 3 points.
Listen, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with Derrick Henry, but I saw Ceedees ankle, and to be completely honest, I can't afford to give up any more wide receivers at this point right now, especially I just traded away JSN for Justin Herbert and Devontae, and I had to make a business decision, man. I can't take on a guy onto my roster that's supposed to start. He's supposed to take over for JSN. That's going to be sitting for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I apologize, but also I'm not really that sorry. I've said that a couple times too.
Okay. How about...
Are you going to propose a trade to me right now on the pod?
Yes.
Okay.
And
all
this
right.
is very serious. This is a 1-for-1.
Okay. It better be good, Miles, or else I'm moving on.
It's good. It's good. Adam Thielen for Keenan Allen.
Oh yeah, for
straight
sure.
up, baby.
Oh,
we were just glazing Carson Wentz.
That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing.
Dude, Carson Wentz is gonna turn back the clock for Adam Thielen.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I can't believe I can absolutely not. Get out of here. Get out. You're done. You're done. You're cut off. You're cut off. I don't even know where to go after this. All right, you know what? I'm getting into running backs. Miles, your team has the lowest points against. All right, you're the worst undefeated team that I've ever seen. All right, running backs to pick up this week, man. I know running backs are sparse. They're dropping like flies, as we knew that they would. They were already sparse in the draft. So I got a couple guys on a list here. I'm not saying that these are guaranteed guys. The first couple I think are gonna really pop off. The last 3 are, maybe they're guys to stash away in case something comes up or the starters get injured. But let's talk about Cam Ceedees. So we already said Cam Ceedees put up about 40-ish around their points, depending on your scoring for your league. Depends on what platform you're using too, but Scat had a great week. I think he's going to continue to have a good week. The Giants obviously have had good luck with running backs, right? Yeah. So Cam Ceedees, everybody.
He's valuable in both the run and the pass.
Yeah, and I think
he's going to get over 100 scrimmage yards per game, both running and catching the ball, that's really valuable.
Well, and I think if he's not on the waivers, absolutely make them pick up, right? I can't imagine that he's available anywhere right now.
Yeah.
If he is on somebody's bench, offer the trade. Stop trying to go for their number ones. They're not going to give them up, right? You're just going to keep getting the rejection letters. Go for him on the bench, right? If Cam Ceedees or the second guy that I got on my list, Trey Benson, we already talked about the Cardinals. If these guys are just sitting around on people's benches, they're going to be a little bit more willing to give them up. I think that those are good trade targets to look after. They're going to be the starters, and I think they're going to end up putting up big numbers for the rest of the season. So those could be guys that can slip in to your lineup with ease, and you might be able to get them for a decent value. Another couple guys, Blake Corum, Woody Marks of the Texans. We see they've got some injuries in their running back room right now. Obviously, Nick Chubb is still holding on to that number 1 spot, but how long is Nick Chubb going to last? We'll have to see. And then I got a bonus. This is not a running back, but Trey Tucker from the Raiders. If he's not already gone, he was a hot ticket item this week on the waivers. If he's not already gone, snag him. Stash him on your bench. He had a huge week. We'll see how that grows. Maybe he's a bust. Maybe he's a 1-week bust. That happens sometimes, but I think he's worth a stash. So
I put in a claim for him.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I didn't get him.
I'm going to be honest. I'm actually super embarrassed about this. I had such a busy week this week. I did not put in any waiver claims.
Really?
I didn't put in a single claim. I can't believe that I did it. I got up this morning and I saw all the notifications of all the guys that have been picked up, and I couldn't believe that
That's so
I did that
unlike
to myself.
you.
But I'm feeling good about my rosters though. I look at my rosters almost daily, and I obviously there wasn't anything that was so bad that it stuck in my brain that I was like, I need to do this. So I'm feeling pretty good still. I'm confident about the upcoming week, and for the last couple weeks I've been stashing guys on my rosters too.
Yeah.
So not feeling too bad.
Well, if you're still in need of a move, that Thielen Allen trade will always be on the table.
Yeah, you know what, Miles? That is a hot take, and I think it's time for us to move on. All right, everybody, hot takes, and I'm gonna kick us off here with some hot takes. I'm gonna wound Miles once again this week, and I'm gonna say that the Cardinals are gonna fall to the last place in the NFC West.
I don't know how hot of a take that is. The Cardinals are not good against Seattle.
Yeah,
and I know you're just saying that to ruffle my feathers. But
that's my favorite thing to do.
I don't think you've heard. Thursday is opposite day. Cardinals are beating Seattle on Thursday Night Football.
That's your hot take?
Yes, I don't believe this. They've instilled no confidence in me that they can beat Seattle. They're like 0-7 in the last 3 or 4 years. Gannon's never beaten Seattle. Seattle's on the rise, and the Cardinals are down in the toilet. But if there was ever going to be a week or a game where the Cardinals' anemic offense gets it going against a good defense, out of necessity, it's going to be this Thursday night on primetime football.
You and I have a couple good Thursday night matchups coming up over the next couple weeks, because the following week, Niners are taking on the Rams, so Amazon Prime is hosting the NFC West. So we're going to be seeing that for the next couple weeks. Well, I don't think we have too much more to say about that.
No.
We've talked the Cardinals into the ground.
If you guys watch this after Thursday night, just know I'm right. Jared's wrong. So.
All right, guys, we are headed into the fourth quarter of our episode, excuse me. And normally we do our fourth quarter question of the week, and we decided to shake it up this week. We wanted to do something fun. We we had some different thoughts on different things that we could do, and we decided that this week we were going to feature some prank calls. So we got a couple prank calls lined up. One of them is going to be me calling a well-known local gym that I'm sure many of you know, and you'll find out who that is once we make the call.
Yes.
We're gonna use our little pitch changer here. I'm gonna make my voice a little bit deeper and just harass some people at the front desk that we know. So and then after that we got our buddy Jack, man, and Jack has been a tough one to get on the pod. He, for a couple weeks straight, he would tell us that he wants to be on it, and then last second he would drop out, and then we'd be left, and that's why for a couple of weeks we had one caller. So we're gonna get him back.
Yeah,
it's time to get our revenge a little bit.
Yeah,
and so Jack, if you're watching, sorry about it, but also not that sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
And that one's going to be an AI prank.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to get to see what that is. So,
yeah. So we were talking about this, and I'm just not good at prank calls. I usually freeze up. I don't know what to say, and then usually by the time I say something, I can't help from laughing. So, Jared,
I'm gonna see if I can try to hold it together. It's gonna be tough.
I mean, Jared already said he's gonna mute my mic, just so that I don't ruin anything. But yeah, so this week I'm not participating. He will do the AI, and then Jared's gonna prank call the origin of where we met.
Do you want to do the AI first? Should we get Jack first? Or do you want to call...
I say, let's do the AI first, because there's a chance he might hang up right away.
That's true. Yeah, he may not pick up. All right. Here we go.
He's a league commissioner, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Jack is also our league commissioner. I'm not sure he's picking up.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right, we're pulling an audible. I say, we gotta try this guy.
Absolutely, Miles. I think that's a wonderful idea.
It is.
All right, we're gonna shake it up. We're not gonna get Jack because Jack obviously doesn't want to be on the pod. He's basically refusing. He says every week that he wants to be on. He's saying, get me on, and then we try, and now we're even trying to prank call him, and he's not picking up. You think he's gonna pick up?
I hope so.
All right. Let's see. This is not Jack. This is our boy Key. He is also part of our league.
Hello, this is Key Williams. I'm currently not at my...
Man, we are 0 for 2. Tough.
What do we do?
Tough.
Do we want to try one more person, or do we just want to take the L?
You got anybody in mind? What about Tate? Sorry guys, we're really we're improvising here.
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh my god!
Wow. We're just getting blocked left and right.
You know what? We're never getting these guys on the pod.
I know. Yeah,
they've lost their chance.
We've tried every opportunity.
Should we play them the bite and of the thing that was going to be said?
What about Chris?
Oh God! No! Oh no!
Do you have the number?
I mean, I think so. I know he changed his number.
Sorry, guys. It's just Miles and I harassing people at this point. Let's see. If this one fails, we'll move on. We'll move on to our second call. I don't want to hold this up too much longer. I know.
No, this is. I don't have. Not his new number.
All right, bummer. All right. Well, we're gonna hit the pitch here, and let's bring up our local gym. It is gonna send us to a recording first, so just so that you guys are aware. Let's hit this here. All right,
Bradley,
is that gonna be my name?
Bradley would like to know.
All right, so Bradley is gonna talk in third person.
Yeah, as Bradley would,
because Bradley needs the information that Bradley needs.
Yes.
All right, Miles. Bradley's gonna mute your mic right now.
Thank you, Bradley.
Thank you very much for calling Holland Athletic Club, Reno's premier family fitness, tennis, and pickleball club. If you know your party's
Call Club's Ryan.
Yeah, this is Bradley. Bradley's interested in some information.
As in membership?
Yeah.
You worried about pricing? Things like that?
Nah, man, I don't need to know about no prices.
So what are you interested in?
Mostly like amenities.
Oh, so we got when you sign up with our membership, it includes our pool and our hot tub, which are open every day, but they close 30 minutes before closing. Along with we have a boxing studio, and then we also comes with a bunch of classes which are included, which you have no sign up required as well. So you can show up those classes, which a lot of people tend to enjoy. And then you also get free range on our tennis courts, and you can reserve those as well, and our pickleball courts. And then we also have a basketball court, which runs men's basketball pickup 4 times a week.
And what about a dry pool?
One more time?
What about the dry pool?
I'm not sure I understand.
Like a
you mean by
pool, but it's dry.
I don't think we have one of those, unfortunately.
What you mean you don't got a dry pool?
Would you be referring to a dry sauna?
Nah, like the concrete in the ground, but no water.
I mean, we technically do have one of those.
Yeah, but does it have water?
No.
Oh, Bradley can't do no water.
We do have a dry pool.
Hey, Margaret, they said they got a dry pool. Yeah,
Alright,
she don't want the dry pool. What about a soccer court?
We do not have one of those, unfortunately.
You don't got a soccer court? You know, soccer is the most popular sport in the world.
Yeah, I know. I wish we had one.
How are you not gonna have a soccer court at the gym?
I don't know. Don't take that up with me. I'm not the one making decisions over here.
Hey, you got soccer classes?
I wish. Same thing.
What about soccer classes in the dry pool?
You know that. I don't make decisions. I mean, no, we don't have those. I wish we did.
Hey, I heard you got some food over there too. What kind of food options you got?
We got hot dogs, things like that, but only seasonal.
Seasonal.
Yes.
Well, so what? You put some seasoning on them?
What?
Would you put seasoning on the dogs?
No, we do not.
That's great. How are you not gonna season the dog?
Alrighty, is there anything else I can help you with? I gotta run.
Yeah, let me schedule a tour.
You can come in whenever you'd like, Monday through any day of the week, 7 days a week.
And what's your name?
And my name's Tyler.
That's a girl's name.
All right, I gotta run. Have a good one.
Oh man, honestly, it took me a second to compose myself. Yeah, that was elite customer service. Honestly, he held really strong. I'm actually super proud.
Yeah,
that was pretty solid,
dude. He was listing those amenities. Like,
oh yeah, he was going off on it, and honestly, he was really putting up with my bullshit.
Yeah, he was.
I'm actually super impressed. Eventually, he's like, I gotta go help other customers.
Yeah. We didn't even get to say goodbye.
Yeah, John's behind the camera. If you guys don't know, eventually we'll get a more impressive setup in here, and we'll be able to get John on the pod as well.
But you know what? For calling up Ryan unsuspectingly,
you know what? He did a great job.
He's done a great job.
You know what? I gotta tell you guys a little story about Ryan this week too. I played Ryan in our fantasy league, and I was up, I think, by like 4 points or something like that, and Derrick Henry fumbled, and I still ended up winning by 0.2. So poor Ryan is 0-3. He's looking that nasty 3 beer mile in the face right now. I know he's not feeling very good about that. He's seeming pretty desperate on the trade block right now.
Yeah.
But you know, shouts out to Ryan for handling that. I think we teased him pretty good. So yeah. Hey guys, thank you guys so much for always tuning in. We appreciate your viewership so much. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and don't forget to comment if you guys want to be on the pod. We'd love to have you on. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.